Hello, and welcome back to Let Supreme Goes Thief. We are doing Patriot today, Mission 8 Detective, which is a very, very good mission. It's maybe not as good as Heretic, in my opinion, but it's a very different mission from any of the previous ones in this campaign. We're going to go back to the Black Parade, the next missions, the next couple of missions, and then maybe I'll go back one more time for this campaign before we finish Black Parade. There are some really good missions in this campaign coming up, and the next one, Enemy, is probably in my top 3 mansion missions of all time. It is extremely good, and it's my favorite mission so far in the campaign, which says a lot, because the average quality of this campaign is just fantastic. So, hope you guys are tuning in for this, whether you're in the live premiere showing or not. And let's go ahead and load up the end of Heretic, which is right here. And let's watch the briefing.
У нас плохие новости для тебя, Гаррет.
Плохие новости от хранителей. Как неожиданно.
Твоя дочь,
Что с ней? Говори.
она убита.
Кто?
Мы знаем кто. Но будет лучше, если ты выяснишь это сам.
Где я смогу вас найти?
Главное нигде. Главное это когда. Вот, возьми этот ключ.
Я все выясню. И я приду.
Мы будем ждать тебя. Да, еще.
Еще?
Не доверяй майору Скренчу. Он работает на механистов.
Два часа спустя майор пришел в себя. В этот момент мы находились в пустой комнате, в доме моего покойного домовладельца.
Время еще не вышло?
Для кого как?
В каком смысле? Я вижу, обе руки у тебя целы.
Мою дочь убили, пока я выполнял твои проклятые задания. Это ты виноват в ее смерти.
Сожалею. Но может быть есть кто-то виноватый больше меня?
Например?
Тот, кто за этим стоит. Возможно, у кого-то был зуб на тебя, а, Гаррет?
Я докопаюсь до истины.
Возвращайся, когда сделаешь это, и мы еще поговорим.
Сначала сними этот чертов браслет.
Конечно. Не вижу причин тебе отказывать.
Что ж, я тоже сдержу свое слово.
Alright, so you guys probably remember in Heretic we broke free Major Scrench from the Mechanist Monastery, and now we've got the sad news that our daughter has been killed. So this mission here is very much a sort of film noir, obviously a detective story, where we are trying to figure out who killed our daughter. And it's done in a very interesting way, I think. So here's our objectives. It's not easy to trace the murderer, but it should be done. You need to know who he is and where his refuge is. Okay? To know the truth, you have to gather at least 14 evidence. Searching the territory is one possible way. People around may be useful witnesses, and so could the guards in the western part of the quarter. When all the goals are complete, use the key you have to visit the keepers. Okay? That's interesting. So, we have poison for self-destruction, which we've had quite a few missions, and then we have a keeper's key. Use this key to open the door to the keeper's hideout to complete the final objective. So you have to complete all the objectives that the mission intends for you to complete for you to be able to use this key. I thought I had a possibility of ghosting this mission at one point, and I'll explain why. But until you can use this key, you can't finish the mission, you can't end the mission, which ultimately will end up busting Ghost in this one, unfortunately. Because there's an extra objective that will trigger that we don't see here, and that is the one that will include a forced Ghost bust. It's by design, so it's an easy one to accept, but there's no excuse for it. There is an inevitable thing we have to do. And unfortunately, it comes at the very end of the mission, very close to the end. So it looks like we're able to ghost it, or even supreme it. We don't have to take any other ghost or supreme busts up until that point. Now, we have to get 14 evidence. These will tally up in your inventory, so you can see it very easily. There are a total of 17. Now, we cannot get all those 17 for supreme. You can get them all for Ghost. I will show you all of them, of course. However, I am going to have a goal of maximizing the evidence. I almost treat this as loot in a way. It's something countable that obviously is in our benefit to get, because the more evidence we have, the more we know about the murderer. But it does require one extra pickup. So I am going to pick up one extra item. It's actually a rope arrow, because we don't have any rope arrows to start with. Because that rope arrow will enable us to get 2 more evidence. So without that rope arrow, you can get to 14, but it requires that you actually break the mission a little bit. I'll show you that as well. But I'm not going to break the mission. I'm going to take the rope arrow and get the 2 extra, so we'll end up with 16 out of 17. But I'll show you the last one too. Okay. So don't need to buy anything, and you can't buy a rope arrow. See that? But there are a couple available, and a few available quite early. So we start in our room, which is the same room that we started in before. Let's see. So we only have lockpicks, compass, that key, and the poison. And like you see, we don't have anything else but our blackjack and our sword. So we have a good map. It's the only one. And it's divided into sections. It's an auto map. So we start in the very southwest part of town. Remember that one of the objectives said that the guards in the western part of town, which is divided by a sort of a city wall here, parapet. So any guard in the streets in the western part of town are neutral. There are extra guards in the police station that sometimes come out on the balconies. They will detect you even if you're in the streets or make noise. So those are completely hostile. But any of the other ones, the patrol will only alert to you if you use weapons or are caught where you're not supposed to be. There are a couple of gates here, but you can't go through those. At least one gate right here. So you have to find a different way across the wall. And there's a very easy way to get across that I'm going to use in the far south. And we're going to use that a couple of ways. On the eastern side of town, there is a canal and 2 bridges. Those are not going to be possible for us to cross, but you can cross via the canal in a couple of different areas. There's a pub here in the west. There's a couple of buildings you can get into. This is sort of an enclosed courtyard. And of course the police station and a few buildings around the police station. There's also an area to the north called Steel End Quarters Border, where you don't really know what's going on. And there's a canyon on the east side of the wall with, this is a lake here. And we're in St. Remy Quarter. And there is a St. Remy Cathedral. Now that cathedral, we don't have to actually go in there. I believe. Because it gives you 1 extra evidence. So we're of course going to go in there, but you don't have to go in there. However, to get in there, which is obviously intended for the story, you have to trigger 13 evidence. And it doesn't say that anywhere in the mission. There's a little audio cue when you reach 13 that tells you something goes on at the cathedral, but without hearing that or understanding that, you won't know that you then can enter the cathedral. I wish there was one readable that told you that. And from the cathedral, you can get to this northern area right here. There's also a lawyer's residence and a couple of other places you can get into on the east side. There's an alchemist up north. And I'll show you all those areas, even those that we don't need to go into for Supreme. Okay, so there are quite a few conversations or things that are said in this mission. I'm not going to translate over that or read the English lines. Subtitles are showing up. I'll give you a quick synopsis of each of those after it's done. So if you hear those, those lines start, just maximize your window so you can read it properly if you want all the words of it. So here's a desk that we can fob.
Она взяла куклу с собой. Значит, пошла без принуждения. Но почему?
Okay, so there you see we got our first evidence. So we noticed that the doll wasn't on her table, and it obviously then always is there. So that means that she left on her own free will. So that's a clue. So I love stuff like this. Just implementing something that's very easy to understand. We can keep track of how much evidence we have. I kind of wish that you could fob the evidence and get a list of them, almost like a readable. But yeah, if you want to keep track of what the information is, then of course you can write it down on your own. You can't take this key. Okay. This is just another empty room. And this as well. So here's a storage room. So here is a bracelet you can see. That is from the room that we were in with Major Scrunch. So where Major Scrunch is gone, I'm not sure. Excuse me. But here are a couple of crates. We are going to need 2 of those crates in 3 different locations in the mission in order to avoid lockpicking, which of course is my desire to do always. I'm going to wait a little bit with this. This is the door outside. Okay. So here is the landlord's room, who has been killed. The only thing that's in here is this. So, here's a blank sheet of paper. There is something written here, but you can't really read it.
Здесь какие-то следы. Похожи на отпечатки букв.
So it looks like imprints of a letter. So blank sheet with some traces. Now, this can lead to a secret. It doesn't lead to an evidence, but it leads to a secret. But we are not going to be able to do that for Supreme. So I am not going to take this. But I will show you that secret a little bit later. No, this door was open, so this one we don't have to close. Okay, that's it. I'm going to bring one of those crates right now. We need to make sure that we remember to close this door and put it back sort of like they were. I'm going to take this one and that one. Alright. Bring this along with us a little bit. See, in here there's a moss arrow. If you need that. There's also a moss arrow here. Let's see. And there's a moss arrow here. So, we are now in the southwest section of town, and there's a couple of things that we can do here. Let's see, let's leave that here. I'll show you a few things. Oh, here's a patroller. I think this is Tommy. He will give us we can talk to him, actually. He's neutral. Call me Tommy.
Привет, Томми.
Прости, что не узнал тебя. Плохо вижу в темноте. С тех пор, как меня выгнали из Джейл-Рока и отправили сюда на улицу, мое здоровье немного пошатнулось.
А, вот оно как.
Хорошо еще, что не на войну.
Слушай, Томми, 2 ночи назад ты здесь не видел девчонку?
Девчонку? Ночью? Да ты шутишь. Хотя нет, постой. Была одна с каким-то парнем, с отцом, наверное. Они так странно передвигались, будто прятались от кого-то.
И куда они направлялись?
Вроде бы как в трактир. Слушай, я, кажется, знаю, от кого они прятались.
Ага. Ну, будь здоров, Томми. Лови воров.
Каких воров? В этом квартале с начала войны нечего красть.
Alrighty. So Tommy told us that he had seen a girl with who he assumed was the father. They seemed to be hiding from somebody and probably ended up at the inn, which is then the pub. So that's very useful information for us. Let's see, if we head over here, so we're now going back south, so we're in this section now. We can mantle up here. Find a secret. We can mantle in here, but there is nothing here except for the sleeper. It's worth 25. Here we go. Okay, so this here takes us south and then east. That goes through this little section. Don't need to go there. Okay, instead we have this tunnel. I'm actually going to bring my crate, which is over here, I think. There. So here we can actually climb up this vine. And head inside this building. And this is actually a priest's building. It doesn't say that anywhere in the map. But it is maybe the cathedral owner. So here is a note. So here you guys can see that there is a guy carrying what seems to be a blackjack with a girl, and there's a key on the ground. I'm not sure what that is. So that tells you that it's probably a thief-looking character that has taken our daughter. That's our third evidence. Good. And then in here there's also a very difficult secret to find. One of the last ones I found in the mission. Okay. There is a little latch there on the side of the lamp. It lowers a pedestal. Gives us a 25 gold worth hammer necklace. Retract that as well. Alright, now if we go down here, you can actually move this out of the way, which enables this door to be open right here. And then you get to this middle courtyard, south of the police station. And you can actually go in here. This building here doesn't have anything in it. It's just a way to get to this courtyard from a different location. I'm not going to do this, but... And we come back out here. So we're actually now in this general area. So you can take that building to get to this courtyard, but you can't get into the building with that secret and that drawing until you have removed the broom from the door. I don't want to mess with any of those, because we can go back this way easily. Down here. Okay. Let's see. So now I'm going to make a move that's a little bit tough. Okay, you can jump up there. Maybe I can just get my crate, actually. I think maybe that'll be easier. That worked. You can jump up on this roof. Alright. Just can't get a sort of a foothold here. That's the problem. There. Okay. So if we go up this way, we're now above that building. Here we have to be a little bit careful, because the more noise we make, the higher the chance of alerting guards at the police station, which we're actually going to see right here. There, for example, is one. Okay. So now we are in the northwestern corner of that courtyard. And you can actually, from down there, I should have shown it to you, you can see that there is a broadhead arrow that have killed a bat or a bird, I think it is. Then there's a small readable next to it. So there is one area where you're going to need a broadhead arrow. But we're not going to do that. It doesn't yield any loot. It's a very cool area that leads to something even cooler later on in the campaign. And I'll show you all that too. So if you want to do that, then you're going to need one broadhead. Instead, I want to read this. Marcus, the work is done. When G knows, he'll be furious. I assume that means Garrett. So that readable not only gave us an extra evidence, but it gave us a new objective. So it says the murderer couldn't act on his own. Find out who is working behind the scenes. This is the objective that ultimately will bust our ghost. And I thought at one point that you could finish the mission without ever triggering this objective, but you can't. There are 3 different ways of triggering it. So this is one. 2 of them are linked to evidences, and we do have 2 evidence to go on here to reach our objective. So that's why I thought we could just skip those. But that we can't do. Let's see, I want to drop here. Okay. Let's see. So now we are basically done in this southwest section. So we're going to head east now into the section in the southeast. So, we want to head into this building right here, which is this one, southwest of the pub. But this door here is locked and pickable, but I want to get in by using 2 crates and mantling in through the window. Now there is a patroller here. He is neutral though, so I'm not sure if this really matters too much. But I'm going to put my stack right there. That is very close to his patrol. So if this was in the light, I probably wouldn't have accepted this for Supreme. But since it's dark and since he's neutral, it's Tommy, then we're not going to worry about that. But it's dark, so it should be safe. Now there's also a rope arrow, no, a moss arrow in this tree. So we're going to head back and grab the other crate right now. We took the scenic route there, but regardless. There. I love the rain and the thunder. The sky too isn't too bad. You can't see it too well. Let's see. This should be good, I hope. Good. So that is not on his patrol route. It's a few feet away and it's in the dark, so we're good here. Okay. So now we come to a building that has a few things in it. First of all, there is a well-hidden gold goblet right here. Here's a bedroom with nothing in it. Let's see, let's head upstairs first. Okay, here is a rope arrow. We're going to grab that. We're going to need one. And then there is a bedroom with a sleeper. There should be a journal here. I told him that hunting can't lead to anything good. I was right. Everything was normal. He hunted in the forests surrounding the city, and he was happy. But then Mechanist destroyed all living creatures, and hunting lost its meaning. John was depressed for several years, until finally he started to shoot bats. It was his new hobby, no problem, but he got very lazy during those years, and he preferred to hunt right from our balcony in the city. From the balcony which can easily be seen from the police station tower. I told him many times that he shouldn't tempt fate. He was sort of deaf though. And yesterday the inevitable happened. The people from military intelligence came to our home and took John with them. Now my only hope is that they fix his brain instead of spreading it on the wall. So we know that the military intelligence use bats, right, to transport messages. So now, because they destroyed living creatures, he resorted to shooting bats, and he shot down probably the bat that had the message in it on the eve of the house. And now he has been taken by them so that he will stop shooting the carriers of their messages. It's very interesting. Let's see. So in the attic, this chest holds 15 broadhead arrows. No, nothing else here except go out to the balcony here. But you can't reach anywhere useful from that, as far as I know. So we're going to go all the way back down here. Here's a little workshop. There's a healing potion here. see. On the bottom floor, I don't think there's anything. And this is the door then that we are avoiding to pick. We're gonna head out. Maybe that isn't the smartest thing to do. Let's try to just drop normally without taking damage. Good. Alright, we are going to need those one more place in the western part of town, but we have to carry them to the east as well. There might be other boxes on the east, but these are useful to use now that we move them. Let's see. No. Leave this here for now. Here's the pub. And... oh.
We can do this the easy way, or the hard way.
So they still alert, even though they're neutral if they get close to you. So I want to try to avoid that. So here we've got some more guards by the south gate. Let's talk to him.
Можно мне пройти?
Парень, ты чего, не в курсе? Половина города захвачена механистами. Мы на военном положении, вот так-то.
У нас даже ключа нет.
Хотя мы вообще-то с той стороны, да.
Боятся, что мы разбежимся по домам.
А, так вы с той стороны. Может, видали пару ночей назад парня с маленькой девочкой? Я его ищу повсюду.
Было дело, видел, как один хлыщ с девчонкой посреди ночи зашел к сумасшедшему Филиппу. Кажется, как раз позавчера. Да, точно. Вчера ввели комендантский час, и с тех пор улицы опустели.
Ага. Спасибо, друзья. Вы мне очень помогли.
Alright. So they saw a girl with a man enter Crazy Philip's house. We don't really know where that is yet, but I can tell you it's right here. So there's going to be more information given in that area for sure.
I'm going to hire a lot of servants to make them go on patrols at the night watch.
Okay. So here's the pub. And just want to show you up on the eve here are 3 more broaded arrows, so you can take one of those if you want. And Obedient Zombie is the name of the pub. Let's try to enter.
Полночь уже пробила. У тебя есть разрешение? Если нет, тогда убирайся.
So he said it's after midnight and we need a permission to enter the pub. So the pub is the intended way to get to the eastern part of town. I will show you all that, but we can't get in there for Supreme for a reason that I'll also show you. Okay, let us bring the crates right now. So now we're going to move into the police station area, that part of town. Here there's nothing. You can actually drop down on this side if you want to. Well, let's go this way. Now we can also see this guy's patrol, even though he's neutral also.
False alarm, I guess.
So they do give settling remarks. At least the guy outside the police station does. So I want to try to kind of avoid that. It isn't a bust because they're neutral. They shouldn't give settling remarks. If they give first alerts, then it is a bust. I'll leave it here and go get the other one. So all of the crate stacks are going to be only to avoid lockpicks. So there's 3 locks that I can avoid picking by using crates. So you see his patrol go on the inside of the pillar. We're going to leave those here. That's where we need them to get up on this roof. Now, there is a policeman that comes out on the balcony there, so we have to be a little bit careful. Yeah. So there he was.
Yep.
Let's head into this house here. This is a pickable door, and we have to pick that. All right. I thought there was... I thought there was loot in here. Yeah, there is. Coin pair. Worth 20, total 95, and there's also a readable. Our troubles all started not long ago. The night when Papa was on duty in Jail Rock. One prisoner escaped by connecting an electric lamp to the portcullis with wire, and then Papa touched it. He was mortally shocked by the current. His chief explained this to us. They paid us some compensation, but it has trickled away after several days. Mama says that the prices rose because of the war. Now she has to find a job, but it's not easy nowadays. Papa, we are in big trouble without you. Not because of the money, we just miss you, if you hear me. So, of course, we are the ones that ended up killing him to escape, so... Makes us feel a little bit guilty, doesn't it? More than a little bit. Okay, let's make a real save. We haven't made a single one.
Yep.
Alright. Well, we actually don't need to worry about that, because we're not going to do this. So if we go on the north side here... Yeah. Here's a moss arrow among the logs. Now you can't move in this direction. So we're now in the far northern dead-end alley here. Floodlights around the police station, so be careful. Alright. Now here is a door that is pickable. This is the one that I'm going to avoid picking. By instead climbing the roof of the police station. If you go in here, then you can find some things. Let's see. Yeah, there's loot in here. So I'm gonna come from above and hit this later on. So I'm not going to go in by picking the lock. So this just completes the circle around the police station. Here's the guard we saw from the rooftops earlier. One more thing. We can pick the lock on this door. It's kind of a weird building.
This job makes me jumpy.
There's blood coming out from behind the door, and the only thing here is a crumpled piece of paper. Peter Swart, you are fired. Be thankful that I don't order your arrest, but don't be too grateful because I think you will never find another job here in the city. Baron. Okay. So it seems like after he was fired, maybe he killed himself. I'm not sure. Alright. then we can climb the roof here. Okay.
False alarm, I guess.
So he saw me there. I don't like that. Or he didn't see me. He heard the noise from the roof.
No will.
Yeah, let's...
Guess all's quiet.
Wait, what?
This job makes me jumpy.
Okay, so he might have actually heard the lock from earlier that I picked, or something like that. So, rest assured, this is not a Supreme bust, because he's neutral, and he didn't give a first alert. That's actually been discussed. And it's something that's existed for a long time. It even, with New Dark, that also happens in Thief 1. Because you run Thief 1 basically on a Thief 2 engine. So that's not a bust. Let's see.
Is someone there?
Oh, he heard me there.
Just my imagination, I suppose.
Okay. So there should be a guard that comes out here, uses this door. Yep. And we can fob it open. That's just a scripted response he does there. See, we're not going to go out that way, so we're safe there. This is out to the balcony on the south side. Right here. This is an empty office. Then at the end here, is an office with a safe. That is pickable, and we're going to pick it. Stack of gold coins worth 25, total 120. Alright. Here's another guard. This is just a closet. It's empty. This is another door out to that same balcony. It's just closer to the actual guard that's there. You don't ever need to go to that balcony. Let's head downstairs here. Alright. There's a couple of readables here. So, crumpled note. Sergeant, it seems the time has come to leave the police. The salary is low, the work increases from one day to the next, and the main reason I'm close to finding a better place for us. The Bureau of Military Intelligence has become more and more powerful in the last few weeks. What do you think? What does Major Scrench want? I think if we win the war, the Bureau will be almighty. The city will become a totalitarian state, and the police will be less than nothing. Let's meet in the Obedient Zombie after work to talk about it. To be on the safe side, destroy the note after reading. Okay. Let's see. Over here, this is the access to the prison. But this says, I've left for duty in the Obedient Zombie. Will return at night. So that's the duty officer. He's then not available. This is the front office. Here's a copy of the police station key, which works on all the exterior doors. You can take that. Here is the permission. So that becomes an inventory item, and you can hand that to the guy in front of the pub to get access, but we're not going to do that. However, in here is a very well hidden piece of loot, some more coins. Total 140. This is just barracks without any need for us to go there. We're going to head up to the lookout tower. Luckily, this guy doesn't hear the door here. Okay. In this footlocker, you have 3 flares. And there's also, I think, 2 moss arrows hanging up here. Alright. Here's a door that's locked, and it's not pickable. Now we are actually going to overhear a conversation in that room below us. And that will trigger once we place this wooden plank down. Now you can't place it right in the hole because then it falls down and actually alerts them. So the nearest logical place would be... See? And then a conversation is going to start once that happens. There.
Нравы в этом городе совсем уже не те. Иногда я просто боюсь походить на улицу.
А это все война.
Вот только позавчера видел, как какой-то взрослый. А я говорю, что война это только повод. Дай людям повод, и они совсем превратятся в свиней. Что, не так?
То, что ты так злишься, а это тоже из-за войны.
Да ну тебя.
Со вчерашнего дня я запретил вход после... Теперь всем желающим драться посреди ночи понадобится специальное разрешение, которое получать у нас.
Это хорошо. А на войну не остановит.
Alright.
Get those hands up!
Oh, crud. So I actually... Let's do that over again, because I want to read that to you guys, because the background isn't too bad.
Sound clear to you?
So that is too loud.
Hey.
Нравы в этом городе совсем уже не те.
The morals in the city have got too low. Sometimes I'm just too afraid to go out at night. It's because of the war. Just 2 nights ago, I saw some adult guy with a little girl enter the obedient zombie in the night with a child. Could you imagine that 10 years ago? It's the war, I told you. I say the war is just an excuse. Give people an excuse and they turn into pigs. Am I not right? You're getting furious because of the war too. Shut up. Yesterday I forbade visiting the inn after midnight. Now everybody who wants to get drunk in the night has to get special permission. And they have to come here to get it from us. I don't know what more I can do. Good idea, but it won't stop the war. So you can stop the door here from closing.
Pair of boots.
And then sneak in, and this guy here has a key. And that key actually accesses a door at the very end of the mission that actually can give you loot. However, we have to skip this because of 2 reasons. When we close this door and nobody enters this room again, then he will first alert. And we can't drop the key back.
Come out where I can see you!
Because he will alert to that as well. So, we're just going to do this, get the evidence, and then be on our way. That guard there, he's going to get stationed actually by the front entrance. You'll see that a little bit later. So now we have 6 evidence. Now we're going to head up all the way to the lookout tower. Here we have a guard with a telescope. And if we look through that, we can see a house with a light. So there's something special about this house here. It points northwest, northwest maybe. So that would be at least towards the steel end quarter over here. Now that doesn't count as evidence, but it's interesting still. Probably means that we're going to need to go there at some point. Alright. Now we need to go down this ladder. It can be a little bit tough, actually. We have to be very quiet here because there's a guard on the balcony right below us. So, if you guys are in chat, or you can comment too after the fact, how many of you have actually played this whole campaign? Or are playing along as I'm playing it? Just like to know. And how many of you are just watching it and never played it and watching it for the first time? We're going to go over here now. Oh. We should be able to jump through here. Hopefully. I don't know why I can't jump here. No clue why. There we go. Angle jump. So this is then the attic of the building that we avoided picking the lock on now. And you can open this window too, but this won't take you to an area that is useful. That's right above the balcony. So we're essentially in this building now. There are windows in the northeast and northeast and southeast of that building. What you also have here is a rope arrow. So that's another rope arrow that you can take instead of the one I took. Down here, and then we can take that green vase, right? This is that big little door. So in here, you have 9 flares, I believe, in this footlocker. This is actually the intended way of getting to the police station. This can be hard. Because... there. Because there is a lip here. Can't really see it, but see it better from the other side. There's a lip right here, and if you don't end up getting to the south side of that lip immediately, then you'll get stuck, so you can't really get up here. So now we're actually going to sneak all the way around the roof and go to the eastern side. So right now I'm just crouch creeping and then tapping the run and strafe key, actually. Let's see. Getting slight slowdowns here, but didn't hear that. So the lightning can actually catch you. So here we have the St. Remy's Cathedral. Drop down to this roof. Here we have a window that we can't get into. It actually provides a secret for us. Here's a couple of different things. First of all, there's a pair of glasses. 240, and that's worth 50. And there's a couple of things we can read. I have to tell you that your suggestion about urgent liquidation of the object was considered and sanctioned by the Council. The decision was made because the object is a potential breaker of the balance, as after finishing his military operation, his influence could become extensive. An old friend of ours should visit you sometime today. No doubt he will wish to assist us in completing the task. So I assume an old friend would be Garrett, since we have gotten the keeper key. Also readable here. Sad but true, we are no longer who we thought we were. Previously, the future was changing and we were following the changes. Now, we only know the future that we managed to read before the incident, and this version of the future is outdated now. But we stubbornly do not want to admit this. The truth is that we are no longer competent to make changes to anybody's fate. Alright. So this is one of the 2 doors you can use to finish the mission. But if we pull up the keeper's key right now, it says I'm not ready yet. So that is because we haven't finished all these 4 objectives. it doesn't actually work as a key right now. Let's see. There we go. Let's make a real save. There. Okay. So, at this point, I am going to show you guys, because now natural progression would be to go into the pub. So I am going to load up a different save and show you guys what happens in the pub. So, we're going to load up the save game here. This one. Alright, so now I have simply given the permission to him. He says, like, okay, you can enter or something like that. So now these are normal doors. However, when we open the door,
Come out where I can see you.
he alerts. He gives a first alert. Now that's a normal first alert. Now he technically shouldn't do that because he is neutral. But he gives a full-on fledged first alert, not just a settling remark. And he will do that every time you open and close the doors, as long as he's settled in between. So that is a bust to Supreme. We can't do anything about that, unfortunately. So that's ultimately why you can't enter the pub for Supreme. Alright. So this is then inside the pub. This is the duty officer. Here is the coin pair worth 20. So we're going to have to skip that for Supreme, because we can't get in here. We also have 2 flash bombs back here. And then we can also talk to the bartender. Let's do that.
Слушай, я ищу одного парня. Он был тут позавчера ночью с какой-то девчонкой.
Капитан, что ли? Он попросил у меня ключ, и они оба ушли через черный ход. Даже выпить не задержались. Ключ он вернул утром, вон он висит.
Капитан? Он что, моряк?
Постой. Ты же должен знать человека, которого ищешь, так?
Дай-ка мне этот ключ на минутку, будь другом.
С какой стати? Я тебя совершенно не знаю.
Ладно, чего ты хочешь?
Ну ладно, Проныра, слушай. Один мой постоялец угодил в полицию, а за жилье так и не заплатил. Когда его взяли, я перерыл всю его комнату, но денег так и не нашел. А они у него были, я точно знаю. Можешь найти, где он их спрятал? Принеси мне, а я дам тебе ключ.
Только ты всего? Хорошо. А за что его взяли?
А вот сам у него и спроси. Полицейская станция рядом.
All right. So that provides a new evidence, and that evidence we can't get then for Supreme. So that's the one that we have to skip. He told us that the captain entered the pub with the girl and then left out the back door. And we can leave if we use this key, but for him to give us the key, we have to find a way to get rid of the, or to find the money hidden by the arrested lodger and bring it to the innkeeper. So now we have to find in his room. This says desirable, which basically means optional. You don't have to finish this to complete the mission. So that's good for us, because it means we don't have to go into the pub and don't have to take a Supreme bus that way. Let's go up here and look at the room of that lodger. So it's not this one. This is actually just an empty room. I believe, yes. I don't think there's anything in this room. So, anyway. Can't go up here. This is that lodger's room. If you move the cabinet away, back here there is the money. However, if we try to take it, there is a rat back there that protects it. and bites us, and you take 1 damage every time you do that, so I'm not going to do that. Nothing else in this room, so we have to find a way to get rid of that rat, basically. So he told us to go to the police station, so let's do that.
Hello? Someone there?
He alerts again. Some of you might say, well, this shouldn't be a bust either, because he's neutral, and he shouldn't alert to doors, but that is only for those that don't give a first alert, but only gives neutral settling remarks.
What I see there?
Let's see. Now we're going to head in through the main doors, because I have the police station key.
What's that?
Now you can see that the guard is there. You can actually sneak this way for ghosts.
False alarm, I guess.
Actually.
My dogs are killing. Hey, notice that?
Anyone there?
Let's knock both of these guys out. We don't need to worry about that. So now what has happened is that the duty officer is back. You might have seen that he left in the middle of our conversation with the bartender. He goes all the way back here. Another reason why you can't do this for Supreme is because one of the prisoners gives a first alert when you open the door. Let's go in here. Here is a prison log. Cell 1, Fred Nilsson, forger, confiscated whistle 1. Okay.
Теперь понятно, откуда у него деньги.
Seems obvious where he got his money. This one is open and empty, this one is open and empty, and this one is possible to pick open. In here is a whistle, a signal whistle. He closed the door on me. There's nothing in that room. Nothing here. So you can totally do this for Ghost, by the way, right? You could just climb back up the roof and go back in the way we did. It's a little bit more cumbersome. I wasn't going to show you that here, but that's totally a way to do it. But I'm going to show you how you get through the pub.
Sir, was that you?
Okay. So now we can blow the whistle.
Ты этот парень гений.
There we go. So now we have a bag of fake money. And we can give that to the bartender.
Ну и сколько ты отсыпал себе комиссионных?
Меня забыли внести в список наследников.
Ладно. Бери ключ. Похоже, он и правда тебе нужен.
So now we can take the back door key. So then we can head down to the basement here. Let's see. So down in the wine cellar, there's actually a bottle of wine worth 50 that we also have to skip. So that's 70 total skipped for Supreme. And then what's also in the basement, you can, from the chute here inside the fireplace,
О, да тут вся труба в
the
саже.
whole chimney is sooty. And you can actually... No. take the blank sheet with some traces and rub on it, and that counts as a secret. And if you then read the note, it says, I have to inform you that one of my roomers, Garrett, is probably outlaw. He always goes away at night. Came's back in the morning with a big sack with something awful in it. And he's got a suspicious child. I'm afraid he's a thief. Wow, so the landlord basically gave us up here. No, that isn't the landlord. Yes, it is, because we took it from the landlord's bedroom.
Ты 2 месяца не платил за жилье. Я не могу больше ждать.
Как видишь, выгоднее оказаться на правильной стороне.
Черт возьми. Так вот, как они вышли на меня.
Okay. So, the landlord was killed, but he gave up information that essentially brought the murder to our apartment. So that secret you have to skip as well. So 1 secret, 1 evidence, and 70 loot. You have to skip for Supreme by not going into the pub. So now you can go out here in backdoor key. Now listen. You hear that lock? When you go out here, which we're going to do a different way, something happens upstairs. So there's more to show you here. The bartender's gone. This door, or these doors, are locked. And the in backdoor key does not work. Okay. So you basically, oops, wrong door. You basically have to find now a different way to go back. Let me show you that real quick.
Strange noises.
Oh, thought I saw something.
Just rats again.
Just my imagination, I suppose. Hello? Someone there.
There. Go this way. Now there's a note outside the pub. The inn is closed owing to the owner's arrest. Ask the duty officer in St. Remy police station if needed. So he got arrested. So how are we going to get back to the east side now? So of course this is all moot for Supreme because there's another way to get across. So he's now in jail. Here he is.
Let's see what that was.
So let's read the prison log now. Well, Cell 2, Ron Linus, innkeeper, suspected of collusion with Fred Nilsson, the forger. Confiscated key to inn, 1, and fake money, 1 bag. So that's how we can get our... So now this one is locked, and you can pick that open. And in here's the fake money bag, which we don't need, but here's the inn key. So that's how you get back into the inn and then can use that again to go east, through back and through Fort the Pub. So if you don't find another way across the wall going east, then you have to do all that to go back and forth through the pub. And we checked off that desirable objective there. Okay, that's everything. So now we can reload our main objective and be on our way, or main save. Alright, so then let's bring our 2 crates with us, because we need to now get over the wall. Absolute best and easiest way to do that is over here. There are guards, hostile guards on the other side, but they're not facing our way. So over here, there's a big gear that you can mantle up. There's an archer here that doesn't care about us at all. And so we're technically now a little bit out of bounds, because you can see the purple texture is missing. But that doesn't matter. We can head over here. Leave this crate there. Let's go back for the other crate. We need them in one location, like I said, on this side. So by doing this, we are avoiding a bust for Supreme. We haven't taken any bust yet. And there should only be one bust. Well, we can talk about that later, but how we're going to judge it. I feel that the lightning is a little bit more intense over here on the east side. That doesn't make any logical sense, but I feel it is. Okay. There. See. Can't really get back in here easily, so here's a guard. I'm not sure what guard that is. Because there's one guard that has a helmet and is protected. And he is kind of special. So notice where this guy goes. Okay, so he takes a round like that. So that means in the middle here, where it's dark,
what's going on?
We can place our crates without him hearing us, of course.
Cook said we might get stew today with real cow. Hope they save some. Bet the Baron gets to eat cows all the time. Not tail.
There. I'll show you real quick. This door is pickable, and this is the one I want to avoid. Go in here. There's really nothing in this house. It's just a way to get to the clothesline. And in the clothesline you can fob the pants and get a key from pants. Now you can then go into this building either through this door or through the door on the bottom floor. But you can't really return these pants. You can't. I think you can drop them on. You can drop them on top of here, but that doesn't seem. That's a massive key compared to those pants. It doesn't really seem Supreme-like if you can skip doing that. Plus, you can skip the lockpick. So, definitely going to avoid those things. Instead, what we're going to do is we're going to make a little stack again. Like that. And then go in this way. Okay. Here's a stack of gold coins. So that's also useful, of course. Head up here, you just get to the door by the balcony. There's nothing else up there. This is the other door that's locked. Now we can overhear a conversation in here, and that's an evidence.
Прямо среди ночи, представляешь?
Я думал, собор на ночь закрывается.
Ты же знаешь нашего настоятеля. Он иногда вообще не уходит, и если надо срочно с ним поговорить, можно попробовать войти через боковую дверь.
Все это звучит немного странно. Что делать мужчине с ребенком в соборе ночью?
Ну это же Лиза. Ее окна выходят прямо на то место, и она почти никогда не спит. Слушай, прикрой дверь плотнее. Надоел этот сквозняк.
Alright. So we now overheard that there's a woman named Lisa who's been spying on the cathedral and saw a girl with a man go into the cathedral. So now we have 7 evidence. Or evidences. Okay. It's actually a bit difficult to get out here without... You have to sort of mantle into the window without... Do we have anything? We don't. I don't know why I'm mantling that much through. Let's see.
Stand forth and be recognized.
Don't know why I can't mantle properly. This must be annoying to watch, but it's annoying to do too. I want to get in so I can crouch. I can't crouch now. Okay, that worked. Good. That's good enough. We don't need these crates anymore. So we're going to move them over here real quick. Like that. Okay, let's read. There's a notice on the bridge there.
What's there? What was...
Let's read that. This part of the quarter is not under police protection, so all citizens are ordered to stay at home from dusk till dawn. The only exception is for those whose duties demand them to be present in the streets. All other nightbirds will be presumed to be marauders, the City Watch. So that warrants why they are hostile to us at this point.
That...
Let's see. We can... for us to be able to move north here, we're going to have to drop into the canal. Actually. Let me leave these up here. Because we are going to pick him up from the other side, not going over this wall here. Okay, let's drop in. They don't hear that, luckily. Here past this boat. This is by a little dock, and there is actually a moss arrow here. More importantly, though, there's a ladder. You can get up unseen. Good. So we moved now a little bit north and are going up this little bank. gonna head through here. Here is a guard. Here is an archer. He has arrows.
Notice there's never any birds around anymore. Used to
Let's
be
see.
birds, singing in the morning and waking
There is another guard.
at night.
The guy with the helmets
To meet up with.
that we need
Don't hear them no more.
to come down here. Don't know where he is right now. This is a very tricky piece of loot to find. I did not find it on my first playthrough. Found it by accident, really. This door here is not pickable and there's no key for it, but the guard can open it. And he goes through that door as a part of his patrol route.
Hello?
I'm going to see where he is at this point. He might
Looks
be far
like it's
away.
nothing. Is someone there? There. Come on now. What was it? Try to run, Taffa. Just surrender. Now!
Yeah, that's the guy. Okay, so he's on his way then. It's the guy with the... with the helmet, so he can't be knocked out, is to, so that you don't knock him out and can't get access to the loot, but I think I gassed him. I think I bought a gas arrow before the start of the mission, when I just tested it. Yeah, it's the back one there.
Is someone there?
Ooh.
Hello?
Okay, we're a little bit... not stuck, but we're a little bit exposed here. Wait. Yeah, I didn't get caught by this guy when I went up, did I? No. There you see. He opens the door, he searches, and then he will close it again, but we will prevent him from closing it. There we go. Back here is a purse. Counts as a secret. And it's worth 10 only, but it's something. Go up here. Here's a door that is pickable. Here, this guy has a key, the sleeping guy, treasure hunter's key. And that unlocks both of these doors here. There's a readable, how to find treasures. Okay, a dead rat as well. Don't need to go in there. We basically just need to leave and have the door locked. Okay, so this building here... Philip S. Lowe.
Не тот ли это самый сумасшедший Филипп?
Isn't that the well-known crazy Philip? So we need to get in there somehow. Whoa. Okay. So to get in there, you can go through this area. There's a door here. We need a rope arrow here. You can get up here with a crate, of course, without using... Okay. Without using a rope. So if you don't take the rope, then you can still get up here. Alrighty. Here is a loose board, and there's a readable underneath. S. Don't forget, eliminating V is only one way of solving the problem. Study other ways as well. I'm starting to think that an alternative version of capture could prove more effective than it seemed before. Marcus. S. The result shows that your suggested action is not enough for solving the key task. It is good as a temporary measure, but for general business we need a more serious incentive. Think. Just threatening won't produce the desired effect. We need the absolute interest of the object to succeed. S. We urgently need a man who can surely and quickly intrude upon the enemies and strike cruelly and unobstructed by the key figure. I know one likely person. Unfortunately, the question of his motivation is too complicated. This problem should be solved as soon as possible, till the quarters, Seven Winds, St. Remy, and Jailrock are under control. Marcus. So I'm not sure who S is. Is that Scrench? V is Victoria, and G, as we read in a previous readable, was Garrett. That is an evidence. And this is the other readable that would have triggered this objective, if you didn't find the previous one. There. That's pretty good. You can see it through it, but it's as good as we can do. Okay. Now, this is the way into the lawyers. But instead we are going to drop here because you can see that Dewdrop is down here. No, we're not going to take damage there. That's not necessary. Oh, come on. We don't need to do all this stuff. There. Okay. That should have given us another evidence. I'm not sure why it doesn't.
Cook said we might get stewed today.
Huh. Don't know why that is. Okay, I am not sure why this doesn't trigger another evidence, because we definitely should have one more now. Because Victoria's doll, it should trigger a readable or a voice line from Garrett saying I should return this to where the conversation started. That is very odd. I'm going to check on something here. Okay, yeah, I just needed to check that we could get the evidence, the second evidence from this doll, even though this doesn't work. I'm not sure why this doesn't work. I've never seen that before. Yeah. We're supposed to get a voice line, like I said, from Garrett saying that we have to go back to where this conversation that is garbled now existed, but it also is evidence that we're close to where Victoria was. So unfortunately that doesn't work. So we should be up to 9 right now. We are still going to be able to get to 13 before entering the Cathedral. That we have to be. We have 1 to go on. So at the end of the mission we will only get 15 out of 17 evidence then, but you can get and should get 16. That doesn't really matter though for our progress. This is where you need the rope arrow. You definitely need a rope to get up here if you want this evidence. Oh. Grab that, and then open this one. Now this opens extremely slowly, because there's something going on in this house that is very unique. So this is gonna be a little bit tedious to do, but anyway. Oh. Let's close this one. Everything moves slow here. So we just have to deal with that. Let's see. Let's first go into this room. Here is a purple vase. $3.25. Here I'm going to open this balcony door because that's how we're going to leave. Here is a healing potion. There's a gold goblet that we're going to take, and there's a journal. I've accepted our son's death because of the damned war, but Philip hasn't. For 2 months he just sat staring at one point, and then things got even worse. He stayed in the basement and created that humming thing. Now I understand that he tried to turn time back and save our son. But he's only managed to do something completely different. He couldn't return to the past. There's probably a limit that people can't overcome because of the principles of physics. All that my poor husband could do was to slow down the time within our house. And this slowdown is progress, it seems. I tried to stop the machine, I couldn't. It's not in our time, I can see it. I can touch it, but I can do nothing with it. And as a result, Philip's suffering may continue forever. But strange thoughts came to my mind these last few days. Here's one of them. What if the machine is not really responsible? What if Philip is responsible himself? Slowing down time with all the power of his inhuman sorrow. He achieved nothing. Now he is in the trap. Very ominous indeed. Okay. So here is Philip's bedroom. And here he is. Now, if we knock him out, we will actually kill him. And that will complete an objective. And we'll... And he thanks us. You saved Philip from endless suffering. Now, that is 1 damage. And it's not allowed for Ghost, because this wasn't explicitly instructed in the objectives. There wasn't even an objective about this until we actually did it. So this is avoidable, and it wasn't instructed, so that we cannot do for Ghost. That's not allowed, but it's a bonus objective if you want it. Instead, we have to go down here because there's another evidence that we can get. This is the main entrance. Okay, so here is sort of a piece of clothing.
Когда мы пойдем дальше?
Сейчас допишу сообщение. На, съешь пока конфетку.
So that was a candy wrapper, that was not a piece of clothing. So down here you have the machine that he built. There's nothing else down here, nothing to pick up or read. But that's it. Looks kind of weird. Anyway. Still kind of puzzled as to why we didn't get the count for that other evidence. But fortunately we don't need it. Leave this way.
Hello?
Oh, it was right there. Okay.
Take a break.
Alright, this is the baker's house. That's this building. There's a gated area you can go through. Can you? I don't think you even can. Right there. I don't think there's any way to open it. This says Baker Street. Right here. There's something else here too. Here. It's 220, 2211, is that what it says? 221B maybe?
What's there?
Oh, it's a little house sign.
Hello?
And you maybe heard that there was a little drum that played right then.
Huh?
Oh, come on.
Who's there?
Come on. So many. So slow here.
Like old meat.
I want to trigger that for a very specific reason. Everybody's going right where I am. Okay. Alright, so now we can go back to the canal, but instead you can go over here. These crates are not pickable, but they are sort of climbable. Okay. Here's the cathedral door. Morning prayer starts at 7:30 a.m. Okay.
Jordan,
Here's
that you?
another notice that we just read down the canal, and here are 3 broadhead arrows on this archer. You can get that for Supreme if you want to. Alright, and we're going to come up to another conversation.
Лиза, отойди от окна. Сколько раз тебе говорить? Уже целая лужа налилась.
Ты ничего не понимаешь. В это время начинается самое интересное.
Да что там может начинаться? Одна и та же унылая улица.
А вот 2 ночи назад...
Ну да. Парень с девчонкой зашел в собор посреди ночи. Офигеть, как интересно.
Ты тупица! Они же так и не вышли оттуда.
А разве главный вход тебе отсюда видно?
Ой, отстань.
Here we go. So we now overheard Lisa, which we talked about earlier. She indeed saw a man and a girl go into the cathedral. This is the cathedral, beautiful. You can see from the outside. Now this door here is not pickable or open, but it opens when you trigger 13 evidences then, which there's no hint to anywhere.
That can't be me.
But we have 3 more evidence that we can get before we have to enter the cathedral. So that will reach the required amount for us. We're going to head into the baker's. Can do that this way. Here's the baker with his head in a bucket. There's a mantle on top of the baker. Okay, fine. Let's use a rope then. You can get up there without a rope. There. Let's do that. Get into this room. There's a very well hidden purse back behind the chimney. Let's actually go back up here. Okay, fine. Now you can get back out by moving this. But I don't feel like doing that. The purse was worth 20, total 370, and that was another secret then. Okay, now, if anyone can tell me the music that's going to play right now, let me know what it is. I don't know.
I'll show them someday. Someday they'll get what they deserve.
Apparently it's from a famous movie. And it only triggers if you do a certain amount of things that I won't reveal right now, but I've done them, all of them. Here is a readable journal. This scoundrel from the neighboring quarter, the captain noticed me watching him out of the window that night. He was kind enough to visit me this morning and to warn me that I shouldn't tell anybody about seeing him with the girl, otherwise he'll shove me into the stove instead of the bread. Ha! He thought he could scare me. My stove's been unheated for about 2 weeks now. When the war began, flour prices soared in just one day and I had to stop trading. And now I can't even bake some bread for myself. The door to the bakery is jammed. I tried to open it, but no luck. I'm a baker, not a carpenter. And the roof is leaking. Hang it all. Tonight I'll go to the inn, get drunk, and tell everything to that attentive old man wearing a hood. Seems to me he is one of them. One of the hidden. That is an evidence. Good. So then if you go down here, you'll only go down to the main entrance, and then there's the baker's key, but we don't need that. Hello? Oh, he heard that, of course. We read it, so we're good. Let's go back out here instead. Let us make a real save right here.
Smells like old meat.
So now we're going to head to the west side of this part of town. And we can't go across the bridge there with those guards. We should be able to go back across the river by the, or the canal by the ladder here. Nobody hears that. Let's see. Nobody should see us here. So we have to go to that part of town. The northern section now. There is an archer that comes around here, so best place to hide is actually up here. He has arrows? Oh, that is bad timing. Let's see. Can we maybe hide here? I think we can.
Hey, stop! Don't move!
We can probably hide a little bit further up there, actually. Down here. Now under the stairs, here, you actually have 5 broadhead arrows in this footlocker. Now we can actually jump over this way. It's a little bit of a hidden area, but you're supposed to be able to find this. There's another piece of evidence here.
Эй, надеюсь, ты не собираешься лезть за ворота?
О нет, у меня другие задачи.
А, это хорошо. Знаешь, 2 ночи назад я вдруг услышал громкий вопль. Я бросился к окну со всех ног. Думал, кто-то опять свалился в каньон. Но сразу за воплем последовал смех. Недобрый такой смех, аж мороз по коже. И шел он с той стороны ворот.
Кричал мужчина.
Мне-то вообще показалось, что крик был детский. А вот смеялся точно мужчина. Тут я ошибиться не мог. Нехорошее место. Правильно сделали, что запечатали его.
А что там такое?
Там заброшенная часовня.
All right. So now we learned that he heard a scream, so something might have happened to a girl, and it came from the other side of the wall, and that's where the abandoned chapel is. So that's where we have to end up then, and find out ultimately what occurred. Now, let's see. This is where you actually can break the mission. If you don't want to pick up that extra rope arrow, then you have to get 13 evidence before entering the chapel, and then you have to actually skip past, the cathedral. You have to skip past the cathedral. Let's see. You can do that by mantling up here. Like this. You can do this. I just wanted to show you the method here. There, you can jump over an invisible wall here and land on top of it. This was found but without getting caught. Let's see. Walk this way, and then you actually get to the abandoned chapel, which is this one. But you're supposed to get there a different way, but now you're skipping past the whole section where you are supposed to enter the cathedral and go through the catacombs, which I will show you. But in here is another piece of evidence that can get you to 13 if you don't want to get the 2 that has to do with her doll. So that's an option. But let's not do that. that was all discovered by Garrett, like I said, or if I didn't say it, yes. Alright, now we have to sneak by here. There is a guard here, but we can sneak by without him seeing us. We go slow. There, and the only reason we're coming to this part of town is because there's a piece of loot. Coin pair worth 20, total 390. Let's see. Over here, you have an open door, or an open window rather, to an alchemist. And there is sort of a hidden way to get in there. If you pick up a broadhead arrow, like I mentioned earlier, then you can use that to get into this building, because you can see the latch on the inside of the side window. And if you shoot that with a broadhead, then that opens and you can get inside. But there's no need to go in there for Supreme, and I'll explain that. But let me go ahead and reload so to show you what's in there. That's this save game. There. So now we should have some broadheads. So if you shoot this, it is actually possible to shoot this without anyone hearing it. It's very difficult because there are a couple of guards on the back side of this building that you have to time. But it is possible. Both Garrett and I have reported that to be possible. I've only managed to do it once. There. See, there's one guy back here that usually alerts, this guy. But if he is patrolling and far away, and he does stop between a couple of areas, this is the major guy. But you can time it so that he doesn't alert. I don't know where this guy is going.
Just make one mistake. Is someone there?
Anyway.
Just rats again.
So this counts as a secret, so that's another secret that we're not going to get for Supreme. Let's see. Here we have a gas arrow. And on the shelves here, you have an invisibility potion, which is great. A slow fall potion. You have a healing potion, a flash bomb. And there's a couple of flares up here as well. But then there is a... Let me see, where is it? There should be a book here. There we go. Find the fire lit by those with rising wings, the fire burning above the water, lighting the way for those that walk, that float, that fly. Come the night of the lunar eclipse, throw in this fire the ashes of the bird that burns, but is not consumed, the ashes of the phoenix. And the phoenix will be reborn, not as a bird, but as the face of a person who was lost, but must return from the dead. This ancient ritual has nothing to do with lost magic, so be careful. Your thoughts will determine the course of events. So this is actually the alchemist book. Now, believe it or not, if you didn't know it, there is a secret mission in this campaign. And in order to find that, you have to pick up two things. One is this alchemist book, and one is the ashes of the phoenix, which is found in the next mission. And that hidden mission comes after the next one. So it'll be mission 10 then if you find it. But if you don't find and read this alchemist book, in this mission, then you won't be able to find the ashes in the next mission, and then therefore you won't be able to get to that secret mission. So I've never seen that before, and it's kind of weird. However, you can't get to that mission without busting ghosts, because you need to incur property damage to be able to get the ashes of the phoenix. So that unfortunately isn't something that we can do for either Ghost nor Supreme. I will show you the mission, of course, on my channel, but I won't make it a part of the Supreme run, because we can't do it without busting.
I hear you there. Come on out.
Okay. let's...
Oh!
Let's just do that. Because I want to show you what's over here as well. There. So we're now up in the very northeast. There is a guard here as well, but he doesn't really care much about anything. We have this door here.
Nothing there now.
That we certainly don't need to pick, but I will pick it just to show you.
Over there!
Oh, come on.
Stand forth and declare yourself!
There. Here's a key. Philip's key. That's the key to Crazy Philip's house. The front door. And there's a letter. Harry, please oblige me. Look after the house during the day when I'm not at home. Philip was rather bad last time. I can't rely on him as I did before. He was worse than a little child. I leave you his key and hope you can help your beloved sister in her trouble. Your Catherine. And there's also an attic here. And in this you have a rope arrow. Some 3 rope arrows in this mission that I've shown you, right? I don't think there's more than that. Anyway, that's everything. That's everything in these streets. So the only reason I came was for that, the coin pair. If you go up here, there's just a dead end. You can't mantle over the fence here and into the... can you? No. I don't think you can. But there's no way to get into that garden there. That's the Cathedral garden. It's just visually. So let's go back to our real run here. No, sorry. There we go. Okay. Let me just check, is it? A little bit on the dark side here. This is the dark mission. I just want to make sure we have it. Okay. Now, we are almost ready to enter the cathedral, but we do need one more evidence. We have 12. So what we're actually going to do now is we're going to go ahead and return those crates. Because that we still need to do. The crates are... are done. We don't need them anymore, but we left them over here, didn't we? Yes. Those back, and we can also then place the doll back on the table. And I already checked whether that actually would check off as an evidence, and it does. Okay. There. What do you think about rain and thunder? I really think that adds to the mood of any mission. It doesn't work for all missions, but for a detective story like this, it's really effective, I think. Let me know what you think about this campaign overall. I think it's magnificent. It did have a low point with Mission 6, but pretty much all the other missions are stellar. There we go. Okay. So then, let's do that.
Что случилось?
Виктория, твой отец в большой опасности. За ним следят, и он не посмел прийти сюда сам. Он хотел передать тебе письмо, но вспомнил, что ты не умеешь читать.
Это правда.
Поэтому его сообщение я передам на словах. Ты должна пойти со мной, прямо сейчас. Мы пойдем сложной дорогой, немного запутаем следы. Просто на всякий случай. И в конце концов перейдем в безопасное место, где вы и встретитесь.
Можно я возьму куклу? Вдруг мы сюда больше не вернемся?
Да, конечно, бери.
Great. So now we saw whoever was come and lure Victoria away. And that got us to 13 evidence. All right. And very cunning way of getting her to leave, thinking that she was going to meet us. Okay, so now we are at 13 evidence, which means that the cathedral back door should have opened. You should hear the bells toll or something like that when you get close to the cathedral. See if I can trigger that. No. Maybe it'll only be when we actually get close to it. However, when that door opens, something else opens too. That's kind of a little secret. Doesn't count as such, but anyway. This door. This door here was not open earlier. So this door opens. This is just a hidden gallery. Despond, gluttony, lust, anger, envy, greed, conceit. Alright. What's interesting is that all of these are portraits or actual paintings, except for this one, anger. That seems to be a picture from an actual mission. But I do not recognize the mission. So it could be either mission, the secret one, or mission 11. One of the last two, because I haven't played those two yet. But let me know if there's something significant about this portrait that you recognize that I don't. So that should mean that we have access now to the cathedral. Hopefully. I don't think that Zontik intended this to be a way, but it seems like those items are a little bit too conveniently placed for it not to be an intended path across the wall, but I would think that he would have put in textures then at least.
Is that you?
Oh, what?
Is that you?
You have to go slow then. My bad. So now I'm just walking along the bottom. You can go across the entire canal without getting any first alerts, but it's difficult. You have to go extremely slow, especially if you go back opposite direction I'm doing now, because then you're going downstream. I thought maybe this note would change, maybe. You can get in. Okay, now we can get into the cathedral. Beautiful, absolutely magnificent. And we can talk to the high priest.
Что привело тебя сюда в столь ранний час? Неужели ты пришел помолиться?
Я разыскиваю одного человека. Люди говорят, что 2 ночи назад видели, как он заходил сюда с какой-то девчонкой.
Зачем он тебе? Может быть, он вовсе не хочет, чтобы ты его нашел?
Почти наверняка не хочет. Но послушайте, я опасаюсь худшего.
Он сказал, что спасается от преследователей. Надо признать, это звучало убедительно. Поэтому я дал ему ключ от катакомб, чтобы он мог уйти отсюда другим путем, никому не попавшись на глаза. Хочешь сказать, я совершил ошибку?
Это не ваша ошибка. Скажите, а как он выглядел?
Невысокий, смуглый. Ах да, и у него еще была дубинка на поясе. Такая же, как у тебя. Что с тобой? Почему ты так побледнел?
Покажите мне путь, которым они ушли. Пожалуйста.
Вот ключ. Он отпирает потайной ход в конце лабиринта. Следуй за мной.
There we go. He opens a door there. That closes on its own, by the way. We also got the catacombs key, which can be dropped, but he gave it to us. So we didn't pick this up, so I don't feel the need to return this. When you are given something into your inventory as a part of the story progression and you're not deliberately taking it, you don't need to return that key. So I think we're good there. Let's see. We also completed then the 14 evidence objective, and we should get to 15. You can get to 16 for Supreme, as I've said before. One more thing that we can do in the cathedral. I don't think this works. No. You can take the money from the contribution box. How terrible. Total 410. Okay, this is just a little library. You can see out to the garden that I said you can't get to. And now we come down to the catacombs. Two exits here, and they take you the same way. things in here. First, there is a green vase. 460. Let's see. In here, there is a piece of loot. And you're supposed to lower the casket to get it. But you can actually mantle on top of it also. That counts as a secret. Let's see, I think we can go all the way here. There's nothing else in any other location. Yeah, if we go here, we can find the catacombs entrance. This one also locks, I think, automatically. Yeah. So we have 560. Yeah, that's what we're supposed to have. To the abandoned chapel. This lot, yeah, closes on its own too. So that is then revealing what happened here. And here seems to be the...
Где же этот трус, твой хозяин?
Я подарю тебе способность иногда видеть то, чего другие не видят.
So we picked up the murderer's dagger, and that we have to do in order to enter the murderer's house. When you pick up the dagger, it replaces your sword, and you can see the footsteps of where the murderer went. So they go this way. Now, that also lights you up, so be careful. So, takes you through here. And you can drop down here, actually, without taking any damage. Like that. This is a pickable door that I'm not going to pick. I'm just going to show you this area. This is how you actually come back, or go back to town if you want to. Like that. And you come out to the lake and the canyon that where I was earlier. And you can climb up this vine to go all the way up. This is where we talked to the guy in the window. That's how you can return. And then you have to go back through the catacombs to get back to that area of town. But we're not going to do that. Instead, let me show you something else down here too that I forgot. There's an archer that patrols up top here. Be careful. You're supposed to go this way. However, there's a stationary guard right there, and another archer stationary up there. There's no way you can get
around here?
out here without taking both the Supreme and a Ghost Bust.
Imagining things now.
You could pick up the invisibility potion and go through here for ghosts, but then it's a chemical run. So there is another way to get through here, but then you have to break the path a little bit. If you go over here, here's a door, by the way, that is sealed. Mantle up on these plants. Then you can go this way. on this ledge, and that skips past that whole area. You can actually get back up here too. There. Now that door right ahead there is actually the door that opens to that key that we took off of the guard in the police station tower. Or we didn't take it, but I showed it to you. So, weird that it works on that. And in there is actually loot. I'm going to go ahead and save right now and show you that. That's the last save I have right here. Here. I'm also going to... I have the invisibility potion now, because in order to go through that door, you have to use this. Let's see.
Look, catch that? Over there.
Let's use the key then to unlock it. So even for ghosts, that's the only way you can do it. Now you actually come into the tower there. You can't go out through this door, isn't probable. But this is. So now we're heading back. Is it south? Yes. This is also pickable. You have to pick this. I don't think that works with the key. Oh, it does. Okay, then you don't have to pick the lock on that one. That's interesting. Okay, here is the piece of loot that I'm talking about. It's a drill bit worth 40. So that you have to skip also for Supreme. And if you go up here, there's nothing else to worry about in this room. Except for this takes you back out to where I showed you this. From the other side where we mantle up the wagon. So that's how you can get back to town. So that's... Isn't that 70 plus 40? That's 110 loot that we have skipped in total. So that's where that key works, if you didn't figure that out. Let's go back. There. So I have not been able to get into that door without using the invisibility potion. I managed to get up on the walkway there. You can do that. I might actually show you how you can do that, to be honest with you. It's kind of cool. There's some stuff up there. Now this is the murderer's house right here. There's nothing else. Towards the end here, but you have to be equipped with the dagger to get in here. Oh, he saw that. We have to wait for him to get past. Here's an archer also. I actually wasn't aware that there was an archer up there. For him to come back then. I wonder if there's a way to get up there. He just makes a small loop, doesn't he?
What is that smell? It smells like old meat.
Let's see if I can do it.
What's there?
He heard that. Okay, we have to wait for him to get further back. When we get close with the dagger, somebody tries to throw a dagger at us. It misses us. We make a sound that as if we took damage, but we didn't actually take damage. You see, we still have a full health bar. But now we completed find out who the murderer is and where he is hiding. We haven't really found out who he is. But anyway. You have to do that in order to light up the door. And now we can pick the lock on this door and go inside. In here, there's a purse, 590. That's 110 below max, which is 700. So that's a max for Supreme. Let's see. Now, as I explained earlier, I wanted to avoid the inevitable bust, which will come up here. So I tried not to trigger the two evidences that triggers this objective. However, when you come in through this door, you will trigger the objective then, if you haven't triggered it before. So, and you have to do this as it happens before that keeper key becomes usable. So you can't end the mission without going into this door. And this is then the murderer. Now, and you see he has a blackjack. Now, the only way to proceed here is... Let me make a real save here. The only way to proceed is to blackjack him. There's nothing else that works. I've tried gassing him even, and that doesn't work. It fails the objective. So to continue, you have to blackjack him. You have to deal a damage that way. And blackjacking him doesn't complete the objective. It just progresses the story. So that is a bust. Of course it is, because there's no indication in this objective. The murderer couldn't act on his own, find out who is working behind the scenes. There's absolutely no reference to blackjacking or dealing any damage or anything like that. It doesn't even indicate that we need to do anything in this room. So that is a classic ghost bust. It's not okay to break any rule just because you think it's necessary to get to an objective. So that we have to do right now.
Саймон, ты вряд ли додумался до этого сам. Я хочу знать, чей приказ ты исполнял.
Ха! Думаешь, если у тебя дубинка, то ты самый умный. Ну, раз такой умный, догадайся сам. А я хочу пить.
So now he's asking for a drink. Here's a drink. And we have the poison for self-destruction is highlighted. So obviously we're going to use that on the water at this point. Take that. And notice that the objective still hasn't checked off. So we can now use this on him.
Так на кого ты работаешь?
Я капитан военной разведки и работаю на своего начальника. Это же очевидно.
Хорошо. Я подожду правильного ответа.
Тебе долго придется ждать.
Что, водичкой поперхнулся?
Ты что мне дал?
А, это? Подарок твоего начальника. У тебя есть примерно 2 минуты, чтобы сказать, на кого ты работаешь. А потом ты навсегда унесешь эту тайну с собой.
Зачем мне говорить тебе?
Затем, что у меня есть противоядие.
Дай мне!
Говори. Побыстрее. Время заканчивается.
Я работаю на капеллана.
Что?
Противоядие! Быстрее!
Противоядие. Саймон, я получил этот яд от майора. Наверняка он такой же фальшивый, как и браслет. Немножко помучаешься, а потом все пройдет. Или попроси противоядие у майора. Да, точно. У майора.
Ты убийца!
На войне, как на войне.
Alright, so then he died, and we completed now the objective. This actually counts like as a kill. I'm not sure if that is a bust, because we didn't actually deal any damage that killed him. We gave him the poison, of course, but that was as this objective got completed. And it says in the rules that any immediate consequences of completing a mandatory objective, so something that happens at the same time as the objective getting finished, when it's a mandatory objective, one that you have to complete, and this one we do, then that is excused. But not any busts that take place before or after. So I think the kill is registered right as this objective is completed. Doesn't really matter because we busted clearly before that anyway, so here we are. So now we have then found out that Capellan is actually behind the murder of Victoria. So that'll probably play out in future missions. Let us make a real save here. Let's see. No. Objectives done. Mission 8. And let me go back to this one. There. Let's see now. Oh, okay. I got moved back there. I meant to... Let me show you guys something. There. Now I blocked the door. I walked forward. Blocked the door. Because that's how you can do this.
Думаешь, если у тебя дубинка, то ты самый умный.
Get up here.
Ну раз такой умный, догадайся
And there's a
сам.
ladder here.
А я хочу пить.
Takes you over this way. You can get to this one. Blackjack him, but you don't have to. Here's some kind of contraption. Actually take you up here. So I tried, oops, to drop down here quickly onto something soft, and then quickly unlock the door and get inside, but there was no chance. This guy always alerts and busts ghost. I was trying so that I didn't have to use the invisibility potion, basically, in order to get that loot. That's when I tried that this mission could be, or when I thought it could be perfect thieved, but it can't because of that inevitable bust that we just took. But wanted to show you how to get up here, so. Okay, then we are done. So I really love how all the evidence, the sequence of evidence, gives you clues that makes the story, makes the story make sense, step by step, and you gain some valuable info every time. I think I've seen that in any mission before. Actually, back this way. There we go. Okay, now to end the mission, you can use the keeper door that I showed you, but you can also use this keeper door here. And now this keeper key is usable. And opening this completes the objective. This is the keepers. So we can't relock this door because if we do, we uncheck that objective. Then you'll fail that objective. So you have to open the door to complete the objective. So then that's okay. You can't undo an objective. That's never required. Let's see. Actually, let me go back and see if I can just close the door. Yeah. Okay, well at least that's good. But if we do that, see, it gets unchecked there. So we can, closing the door is what we have to do, but we can't relock it. There. So that was a failed ghost run of Detective, but we only took a bust, in my opinion, probably only when we blackjacked the murderer. Notice that we also then got a knockout and a damage dealt, so that is not allowed when it isn't explicitly stated in the objectives. The kill, I think, got completed right as the objective finished. And since that's a mandatory objective, that this happens at the same time, I'm not sure if that's excused. It's a moot point, because the mission is not supremable anyway, or ghostable. This took 1 hour, 23 minutes, 17 seconds. We took 590 out of 700. We skipped a coin pair and a bottle of wine in the pub, and we also skipped a drill bit in the industrial section towards the end. None of those are possible to do for Supreme. And it even renders it a chemical run for regular Ghost if you want to take that last drill bit. We picked 0 out of 6 pockets. I think all of those are arrows. We picked 3 locks. No backstabs, 1 knockout, 1 damage dealt, no damage taken, and no healing taken. Innocents killed 0 and others killed 1. We found 6 out of 8 secrets. So 1 secret is in the pub, and 1 is getting into the alchemist. So those we didn't do. Now, evidence found 15 out of 17. I'm not sure why that 16th one with the doll in the alley didn't check off. I don't know. Let me know if you know why. But you can get 16 out of 17 for Supreme. I did that last time. So yeah, I really like this mission. It's probably a better first playthrough than it is, subsequent ghost runs. But finding all the evidences, and I think I found 16 out of 17 on my own. Or maybe I found all of them, I can't remember. And understanding the story, and the story is fairly easy to follow if you read the subtitles. Yeah, and like I said, the next mission in this campaign is a masterpiece, in my opinion. It is fantastic. It's, classic Thief 2 mansion break-in, but it has a very cool story and very convoluted scripts going on and things that trigger at certain times. A lot of hidden stuff too. So the campaign totals is 10 hours, 15 minutes, and 21 seconds, and 10,849 loot, and we killed 27, no less. So let me know what you guys think, and I'll see you guys back next time for the Black Parade, Kept Away From You, Mission 6. And in the meantime, stay safe and have a good evening.